love what's most exciting is the fact that every day is new. Every day is different in the stunt industry. Everything is so exciting for me and thrilling. And I'm always looking forward to what's the next thing. And there's still those risk factors and accidents can still happen. But that's why courage is so important too. That's another virtue that I would love to continue growing.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Wendy Aguilar. Welcome to another episode of Culture Connection. We are live from Casa de Español, and today's guest, I am so excited to have her. I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. So before we get started, don't forget that you can share this with your friends. Make sure grandma, grandpa, they can all watch this episode and enjoy this story that we're about to hear more about. Brenda Garcia, she's one of my personal friends. I met her back in college. For the last 10 years, she's been working as a stunt woman, an actress, a multimedia journalist. I am so excited for you guys to meet her. So I'm going to bring her up right now. Brenda,
Hey.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Wendy?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where are you joining us from? What are you doing?
I am right now currently in Albuquerque, New Mexico, working out here on a feature film. Very thankful for that.
That's fantastic. So Brenda Garcia, her parents were born in El Salvador, and you were born and raised in Los Angeles. Growing up in Los Angeles, you are growing up in a world where there's always a movie being filmed somewhere, and it's great to, you kind of see these actors and actresses sometimes everywhere, and you kind of dream like, I want to be an actress too. So you, for the last 10 years, have been working as an actress, a stunt woman, multimedia journalist. You've done so much, but my first question is, how did you get started in doing this? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, first of all, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much everyone who's listening and tuning in. Thank you for your time. I love that question because it's just wonderful the way I see it. I see it as divine providence because it was always a dream of mine to be like an actress or an action actress specifically. Never thought that I would ever actually be doing this for a living because it was just something that is a unique field that people who are very well connected will be involved doing. And I was just like, I don't have connections, so good luck to me, but okay, here goes my dreams. So as Wendy would know, I went off and studied, and we were in school together. But even before I met her in school, I went to a mall, my local mall, and to buy Christmas gifts for my family. And to make this very long story short, I'll just say that this woman who discovered me at the mall, she was an actress herself. She was also doing some radio hosting. And while she was at the mall, she was doing this radio show where you can do radio shout outs for your family for the holidays. And I was there at the right time. And obviously, she was like, I told her I would love to do a radio shout out for my family. She's like, I'm sorry, but we're closed. I was like, that's okay. I'll be back tomorrow. She's like, you were so awesome. I love your persistence, but we're closed, not just for the day, but for the whole show. I mean, this road show is moving to the next town, so we won't even be here tomorrow. I was like, okay, well, now for sure. You have to interview me. You have to not interview me. You have to let me do this shout out for my family because I need it now. Like, you can't just leave. I have to give my family some love. And she just loved that. She goes, you know what? You'd be great in Hollywood. I just love your personality. Did you know I'm an actress? I was like, I had no idea. I was like 18, so I didn't know who she was. And she's like, yeah. And so basically, long story short, she gave me her business card and got me connected with her agent. And her agent and herself basically gave me the steps on how to get into the movie industry. And once I was in the movie industry, the stars lined up again for me. And I met actually a person who came up to me and introduced me to stunts. And so, long story short, I'm here 10 years later living my dreams. So
wow, that is amazing.
yeah.
So in the beginning of this live stream, we had a little video of you and some of the work that you've done. A lot of these things look like very dangerous.
Yeah.
I know that if I was doing that, my mom would be biting her nails. What is the reaction that you get from your mom, for example, when she sees these things?
My poor mom, she prefers not to see what I do. So like I joke about this, but it's real serious at the same time. Like, I don't tell her or show her anything that I've done now from my learning lessons until after I've survived my stunt. Is what it's kind of something I just say, but it's true too because some stunts can obviously be very dangerous. But I don't really show her much of what I do until way later. And she goes, "When did you do that? Oh my gosh, that was so dangerous." I was like, "Mom, that was like 3 years ago, and I'm here, so it's all good." But yeah, I just to help her anxiety because I'm her only daughter. I kind of just show her now at the end of everything, and my dad too. My dad, even though he's definitely doesn't have that same anxiety that a mother does, I still just keep them both at peace and just share those things later after the fact.
That's fantastic. So, we probably have seen you, right? Like, if you are watching this Facebook Live, there's a chance that you have probably seen Brenda on one of your favorite shows or favorite movies. Tell us a little bit, what are some of those movies and shows that you've worked on that we probably wouldn't have guessed that you were even in there?
Yeah, okay. So I know one that came straight to mind that where you can actually see my face was Hawaii Five-O, and that's a huge show that so many people have always loved. And so if you look up the season 7 finale, I was one of the kidnapped trafficked girls, and you can actually see my face, and I'm doing some action stunts in there. So that's an action acting role, like a stunt performer role, where you can actually see one's face. And then a lot of the other big things that I've come out in that I've worked as a stunt performer or a stunt double, etc. Were like Bird Box. I love Bird Box. I loved working with Sandra Bullock. Transformers, The Last Night with Mark Wahlberg and Josh Duhamel. Um, Safe Haven, which also has Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel. The Eternals, a Marvel movie, obviously. Suicide Squad, which is out now. The Eternals come out soon. Avatar 2 comes out next year. The Baywatch movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Zac Efron. A lot of people know this scene that I did in that one is like when this kid falls off the pier backwards. That's me doubling for him. Lethal Weapon, a TV show. Just so many awesome things. Some video games. Oh, just so many. I'm very thankful and very honored to just have done so much in so little time.
That's so exciting for anyone who wants to get into this line of work, this career. This is, how do you even get started?
Yeah, so it's different for everyone. That's why I said it's such a unique thing. It's like connections are obviously a big deal. So knowing someone is going to be huge. Um, Other than that, I think like if you start to really, if you're really interested, you'll do the homework and see where a lot of stunt people train and what some people do to get involved. But having the connections are a big deal. So that's basically the place to start.
And of course, a lot of physical training, right? So, talk about how much training you go through to stay in shape and to be able to do these stunts.
Thank you. Yeah, so like it's very important that we maintain a good routine. Sometimes work will get in the way, not in a bad way. It just we work long hours. And by the time we start or end, the gyms aren't even open or they've already closed. So we have to kind of just do our sometimes if that's the case, we just have to do our own things personally or privately like in our hotels or in our personal home gyms and do our exercises to stay in shape because our job is very physically demanding and we have to be ready. We have to warm up and we have to just be on the go and be prepared. And so, yeah, that's huge. So, the more you could do, I mean, the more you can invest in it. I would say minimum 30 minutes an hour, just at least some cardio to keep your blood flowing, to keep you warm. But do some strength training, of course, and all that contributes to helping you be better, be more confident, and more fit.
That's wonderful. So, we have a couple questions here. We have, what was your favorite stunt to film? And Angelo's asking, what is the most memorable stunt that you've ever done? So, can you share a little
Ooh,
bit about that?
okay. So I have a few memorable stunts. I mentioned one already. I just love the falling off the pier backwards for the Baywatch movie because I remember before doing the stunt, my friend, another stunt woman, and I went to um, the aquarium the day before, and we got to see all the different fish and jellyfish that are in the water there in the Atlantic Ocean that we were at, and So by the time we ended up having to do the stunt off the pier, I was like, oh, those were all the jellyfish we just studied yesterday. Like, there's a bunch of jellyfish in there. It was so funny. So,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
it was so funny. Yeah, like I was like, there's a big pool of jellyfish right beneath me. All right, let's hope I don't get stung. But it was so great.
Wow.
Nothing
That is
happened.
amazing. As a person who has been stung by a jellyfish, I
Goodness.
must say it's not fun.
Yeah, bless
Not
you.
fun at
Yeah,
all.
there was
Brenda,
so yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit
Yeah,
about education because you have two degrees that you've accomplished in the last 10 years, like I was saying before. Talk a little bit about that and where that, what doors open for you with those
thank
degrees.
you. Yeah, so I met you at CSUN by God's grace because you've been just so spectacular, and I just love seeing how much my fellow classmates have flourished so much. So I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism from CSUN with a minor in Spanish language journalism. And then right when I graduated, I mean, before then I planned this, but I was like, I'm so young, I have so much energy, and I have so much more potential to do so many things, and I'm just getting started. So why not just do a master's? It's like a 2-year degree. And so that very summer, like 3 weeks or less after my graduation from CSUN, I already started the summer. That summer, my graduate program at Loyola Marymount University, and I took 2 courses right away, like 2 or 3 weeks after graduation from CSUN, and my ended up graduating with a master's degree in counseling psychology, which I never ended up formally using as a counselor per se, but the counseling psychology has actually created a wonderful platform because a lot of people have invited me to speak and host for lots of events, conventions, just schools, and all kinds of things, career days, etc. And I found how this master's degree has actually come super handy in helping just so many people in my talks and just in every public work that I've been blessed to be invited to. So it's been awesome.
That is amazing. I know that you talk about how you lean on your faith and courage and just your spiritual self. Talk a little bit about how that carries you in everything that you do in your
Thank you.
career and your personal life.
That is huge. I'm so thankful that you mentioned that because without my faith, I'm absolutely nothing. I'm nothing without God. So it's because I have faith that I have joy, that I have this peace that surpasses all understanding. It is my happiness, my gladness, my joy. It's my everything. It's my life. It's the reason why I'm living. And so everything I do is based off my center, which is my faith. And so a lot of people think that, and I want to clarify this, a lot of people think that I'm really happy because I'm successful, praise be to God, or because, our job pays well, or because I have a education, etc. Like, yeah, glory to God. Those are awesome gifts that I do have that actually are His, that He has given me. So all the glory and honor to Him. But and they contribute to my happiness, yes, but they are not the cause of my happiness and my joy. The cause is God Himself. So Jesus Christ is my reason for living, my joy, my peace, and my everything. And so thank you so much for bringing that up because He is everything for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love how you work to empower others as well and to motivate the next generation and empower young minds.
Mm.
Talk a little bit about why this is so important for you.
I love that. Thank you. I think it's so important because, I mean, I think you can relate in some way because we both grew up as first generation Latinas who are the first to go to college, the first to graduate, the first to do such wonderful things in this beautiful country. Um, and so I've seen the struggles of my fellow peers growing up in underprivileged neighborhoods. And so I've seen where so many of my peers from back in the day just kind of went off um, and I've seen the trends from just studies of how it's a thing. So because of that, I decided, well, I just felt it was a passion of mine to come out to such communities, underrepresented, underprivileged communities, to empower them, lift them up, and show them and remind them of their untapped potential and their elevated dignity as being children of the Most High God. Whether they believe that or not, and most of them actually do when they realize how incredibly beautiful and important they are, infinitely valuable. Um, though we're all deeply flawed, we're infinitely valuable. And so those are the things that I like to remind people, is that there's so much for everyone to offer. We are all uniquely created and uniquely have a big, wonderful call. So thank you.
That's wonderful. I have another question about the people that you've worked with. You've obviously worked with a lot of famous people.
Yeah,
Who did you enjoy working with the most? Can you talk a little bit about that?
that's
Can you pick
tough.
favorites?
I just love so many. I'm just amazed at how awesome a lot of these superstars are. Like, obviously, I mentioned Sandra Bullock, huge deal. I've worked with Halle Berry, Steven Spielberg. Halle Berry was just so sweet and so motherly, um, just so humble. Mark Wahlberg, I love him, and it's so funny to say this because he was actually like a childhood crush of mine when I was like in eighth grade. I totally remember that. He would be like on my binder. And then I ended up meeting and working with him. Obviously, all respect to this wonderfully married man. It's nothing like that anymore. But like, I just remember, like, these are things that you grow up, you never think you'll meet these people. And I had the privilege to work with all these wonderful people. And Josh Jamel, another sweetheart, another amazing, humble, super funny person. And again, it was just great working like as Sandra Bullock's child in the movie Bird Box. So that was a very memorable experience.
That's amazing. I love all these stories and that you call these people by name and you hang
Yeah.
out with them and you get to work with them. And I mean, working with somebody you had a crush on when you were in
So, yeah.
elementary or junior
Yeah.
high, that's got to be amazing.
Yeah, he actually really inspires me. I actually, when I worked with him on Transformers, I didn't see him the way I did as an eighth grader, obviously, because you mature, you have respect, obviously. When you're in eighth grade, you just have crushes everywhere, and he was one of them. Anyway, and so I went up to him to thank him for his courage because I said, "You are a bold Catholic and you are extremely successful. Obviously, you're an A-list celebrity, and I just want to thank you for your courage, for your boldness, for standing up for what you believe. Because of you, I am inspired to do the same. And I hope that you and I will do so much for God's glory in what we're doing in this craft." And I went to give him a handshake, and he just gave me a big hug. I was like, "Oh, you're so
Oh,
sweet." Like,
yes.
he was so kind. I just love it. He received it, and I'm still so thankful. It's so beautiful to see someone like that, who loves God. He goes to church every day to pray. He gets up like at 3 a.m. That's, amazing.
That's
That's a
incredible.
discipline. Yeah, he's a wonderful person, a very good Catholic man.
Just so amazing.
Yeah.
Brenda, what else do you want people to know about you? You've obviously had some awesome experiences and you've done so much in the last 10 years with your career. What is next for you?
So next, I just hope that I can continue to give God all the glory for everything, because that's what's most important. That He guides my steps. That He's the one that opens the doors for me. I'm open to whatever He has planned for me. I just want His will, and that whoever decides to watch this or just follow my journey can see that this is something I'll reiterate, that the whole goal and purpose of my life, and that I want everyone to kind of to really recognize, is it's the glorification of God. Because the glory of God, as Saint Irenaeus would say, is man fully alive. God wants to see us so happy and full. And again, He is the one that gives us the peace and the joy that surpasses all understanding. And yeah, that is all that I live for, and He is the reason why I have everything that I do. And for that, I'm forever thankful for you, for God, and Casa de Español, and for everything that has been given to us. So thank you.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know that you are on set and we only have a very limited time with you before you go and do more stunts. Um, one more question while I
Yeah, yeah.
have you here. What is the most difficult thing about traveling? Because you're on set for several months and you're away from your family. Um, when do you get to go home and spend time with your family?
That's a
How do
wonderful question. It's kind of challenging because um, I guess my weekends are my days off, right? So I could go home any weekend that I want. But I feel like the weekends could go by so fast when you've had kind of a long week, right? And sometimes there's weekends you just want to stay in or whatever. So I can technically go home any weekend. But truly, I don't really go home until after the project is done in a few months. And so that's how it works for the most part. Like, of course, you could make use of your free time however you wish, as long as you remain responsible and you get to work on time, and hopefully there's no flight delays, right? So that's basically it, just kind of figuring out how that goes. And then once you're done with your project, just go home and go for the next run. So just wait on God and just keep hustling and just keep doing your best and sharing your love everywhere you go.
This is amazing. Thank you so much again for making this time to speak with us. I know that you're busy with a lot of work that you're doing. If people want to follow you or connect with you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, thank you for that question. If you're interested in following me, I do have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My Instagram is at Brenda L. Garcia. L is for my middle name, Lorena. Um, at Brenda L. Garcia. My Twitter is at Brenda L. Garcia X. So almost the same as Instagram, except there's an X at the end, at Brenda L. Garcia X. And then my Facebook is facebook.com/official Brenda Garcia. So, yeah, you guys can follow me, and I look forward to sharing my journey with everyone.
That's exciting. Thank you so much again for being here, for sharing your contact information, and we'll be sure to share it with Casa de Español as well so that you have it. You can just visit casadespañol.org or here on Facebook and any of our social media platforms. You can also follow me and ask me about it, and I will be happy to connect you with Brenda. In the meantime, Brenda, we hope that you
Oh my God.
safely get back to work.
Wendy, big hug to you.
Yes,
Thank you
big
so
hug.
much.
And when your new project is done, would you let us know? Will you give us
Absolutely.
the inside?
I do have a project that's in the works that I am allowed to mention this one. It's called Cicatrice, and I'm actually starring in it as an actress alongside an actor from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. His name is Daniel Moncada. So it's up on IMDb. There's limited info because we're still so early, but it's set to be released next June. So you can look out for that, especially all you Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fans. You guys are really gonna
Right
enjoy
here.
this. And I have some, and I get a big starring acting role in this, and of course I don't just act, I do some action in there. So looking forward to that, and I hope you guys will follow along on that journey as well.
Well, we can't wait. I'm going to mark it on my calendar. Maybe we can have you back talking about it and
Of
talking
course,
about the current project that you're working on and all
absolutely.
the other great things that are coming your way as well. Anything else that you want to add before we go to inspire others, to motivate them to follow their passion?
Thank you. Yeah, for all of you who are listening, I just thank you so much again for being here. And I know you're here for a reason, and I'm thankful that you're here because you do have something so beautiful to offer in case you didn't already know that. And so be encouraged today and listen to your heart, follow your dreams, and be sure to that you know that wherever you go, we're called to serve, and being that service to others will definitely plant the good fruit, that good seed to bear good fruit. So that is going to definitely bring whatever you have desired in your heart to blossom. So go out, chase your dreams, and do your best. And know that you can message me if you ever want some inspiration or follow along. I do put out some inspirational videos at times. So thank you so much, everybody. I love you all, and thank you so much for being here again.
Perfect. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Follow your dreams, plant those seeds, and work hard.
Yes.
Love it. Un abrazo, and hopefully we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much to
Yeah.
everyone for watching. Be sure to give this a like and share with your friends. We'll
Thank you
see you next
guys.
time.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.